can raise money to get expand expand the garden. And for example, there will be more fruits and vegetables to grow better. Oh my god, to grow better plants. We can make more signs and the landscape prettier.
I think you wrote something in the back too.
Oh yes, prettier. We can make this garden a better place.
Okay, so I'm gonna read it to you too, but before we do that, what do you think of it so far?
I like it, but I made some mistakes.
What kind of mistakes?
Like spelling mistakes.
Can you point them out to me?
Like right here, like make a mark.
Yeah, just put like a dot back there.
Right there. Right there. Right there. Spell expand. Should have put a query up so big. Oh my god, I put a query on top.
That's right. That's where you wanted to put it.
I guess that's it.
Okay. So, what I don't want to focus on, spelling mistakes, that's easy to correct.
Oh yeah, and then I kept saying the same thing over and over.
Maybe some point. So maybe this will help. I'm going to read it to you, okay? And when I read it, I want you to pretend like you've never even heard about Cherry Hill Urban Garden before.
Okay.
Okay? So you're listening to this as if this is the first time. It's me persuading you that you should support Cherry Hill Garden. Anytime that you get a little confused, like, hey, that actually doesn't make sense to me, stop me. And we're going to go over it. Okay? Ready? Dear Cherry Hill, the community needs to come together to support Cherry Hill Urban Garden. So we can get fresh vegetables. For an example, you would have to drive 2 or 3...
For example, pause.
Okay, so where do you see that? So we can get fresh vegetables.
Fresh vegetable pause.
Pause. So period right here?
And make that cut to F.
Okay. For an example... Alright, so does that make sense? The community needs to come together to support Cherry Hill Urban Garden. Urban Garden. So, do we need a period right there?
Nope.
We don't. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Why? No, tell me why.
Because you can get out of breath fast, and you will put a period right there because you're going into one of your reasons.
Right.
And they're two different things.
Okay, so is this one complete thought? The community needs to come together to support Cherry Hill Urban Garden so we can get fresh vegetables.
Yes.
One complete thought, right?
Yeah.
So we don't need this period right here?
Nope.
Okay. Alright, take this. And I'm going to continue reading. For an example, you would have to drive 2 or 3 miles to get to the market. Good? Good. There are only fast food around us.
There's no period. Oh yeah.
Well,
yeah.
You put that right. My question is, fast food what?
Fast foods. Fast foods.
Fast food. But what are they? Fast food stores, fast food stores would work.
Fast food
Corners, that would work too.
Fast food.
Where do you go out to eat?
Restaurant. Fast food restaurant.
Yeah, exactly. So why don't we put a little? Do you know what a carrot is?
No.
Whenever you're editing work, you go in and if you put a carrot in and it looks, can I show you? It looks like this. Fast food, and then you just write restaurants above it. Okay, so write restaurants right above that. And try to sound it out the best. I know it's really weird to say it.
I'm guessing.
It's not good. Okay. There are only fast food restaurants around us. There are only... Okay, so I'm going to keep reading to you. You've never heard this before. Dear Cherry Hill, the community needs to come together to support Cherry Hill Urban Garden. Urban Garden so we can get fresh vegetables. For an example, you would have to drive 2 or 3 miles to get to the market. There are only fast food restaurants around us. It's hard to get soil to get vegetables. Good? Okay. Reason 2. Is that how you would talk to someone? Like, would you say, all right, reason, well, maybe you would.
Yeah.
But in writing, how can we say that without it being
steps.
so?
Or I can put another reason.
Another reason. That kind of flows better, right? So how would you say that instead?
So instead of putting reason 2, I cross off there and put another reason.
Okay.
So I can put.
Yep.
Or if it's an easy outside.
Absolutely. So another reason, what? What are we finding another reason for?
To make it sound better.
But exactly to support our point. But what's the reason saying? Another reason to do what?
To make the community better. Well, to support the community.
To support the community what?
Garden.
Garden. So another reason.
Write it because I don't want to write it too good.
Like, okay, write it. Oh, it's okay. Don't worry. Just write it. You can even write it right under it. How about, let me get a different pen. Let me get a pencil.
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Is it still go? Okay, it's still going.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So when I'm reading something to you or you're listening to something, the reader, they want to know. Don't worry about that. They want to know like what your reasons for it. Okay, so another reason, like you said before, to support the garden is, then you can go into the next part. So go ahead and write that.
Another reason.
Another reason to what?
Another reason this community can be better
But remember, okay, so remember we're always going back to, remember what's that big part that we decided in the very beginning in our planning? What's that called? When we planned on that pink sheet of paper, we had our main point, which was called the what? Remember? Do you want to see it? What do we call that?
Oh, thesis.
Our thesis, yeah. So we always want to come back to that because that's what we're supporting. So another reason, and you can just restate it, another reason to support Cherry Hill Urban Garden is so we can learn to build our own community garden, okay? So you want to add that right there. So another reason to what?
You just said it. I know. I want to put this down.
And it's always, if you can always look back in our thesis, to
support Cherry Hill Urban Garden.
Yeah, exactly. And even if you want to, you can just make a star and underline that and put a star right here.
Put a star right here.
So how does this sound? The community needs to come together to support Cherry Hill Urban Garden so we can get fresh vegetables. For an example, you would have to drive 2 or 3 miles to get to the market. There's only fast food restaurants around us. It's hard to get soil to get vegetables. So we can learn to build,
Another reason. another reason to support Cherry Hills Urban Garden that was is so we can learn to build our own community garden at our schools. For an example, students can learn to eat healthier. We could sell vegetables at schools, fundraisers. It would help to promote teamwork. Reason 3.
Do we want to keep reason 3?
Yes.
Okay, we want to keep reason 3. Are we going to say reason 3?
No, we're just going to say another reason.
Okay. It is another reason. It's also our...
Come on. I don't know what that is.
It's another reason, but it's also our last reason.
Yeah.
So we can say... what can we say instead of reason 3?
Like, ooh, it's in my mind, but I can't bring it out. Like Leslie.
Perfect.
Yeah, Leslie.
Excellent.
Okay. So I'm gonna write that out.
Uh-huh.
Leslie. So we can raise money to expand the garden. For an example, there will be more fruits and vegetables. To grow better plants, we can make more more signs and the landscape much prettier.
Okay, excellent. So now can you read it to me?
Yes.
Because I think it sounds pretty good. I think it's pretty convincing. So remember, we want the reader to be following along with us so that they can get that full effect of your persuasion.
Okay. Dear Cherry Hill, the community needs to come together to support Cherry Hill Urban Garden so we can get fresh vegetables. For an example, you would have to drive 2 or 3 miles to get to the market. There are only fast food restaurants around us. It's hard to get soil to get vegetables. Another reason to support Cherry Hill Urban Garden so we can learn to build our own community garden in our schools. For an example, students can learn to eat healthier. We could sell vegetables at school fundraisers. It would help to promote teamwork. Lastly, so we can raise money to expand the garden. For an example, there will be more fruits and vegetables to grow better plants. We could make more signs and the landscape would be much better.
How do you feel about that?